Okay, welcome. Today what we're going to do is we're going to go through a medial ligament injury on the knee. So this is something you can actually acquire in two different ways. One is through an injury, and the general sort of cause you will have for this will tend to be you miss a step and end up twisting the leg, or you step awkwardly and your knee goes into that internal rotation, stresses the inside of the knee, so your pain is in that related area. So you'll know you've done that. There'll be a specific injury, a specific incident that you do, and you get a sharp pain on the inside of your knee. The other way that you can get this tends to occur more in the older population and more commonly in females, is it's a gradual thing that builds up. So you get a tissue creep effect over a period of time because of how you're moving and walking. So we see a lot of people, again, who will stand with their knees slightly in, stressing these tissues on the inside of the knee. You're compressing or tightening through here, and that creates a rotational imbalance, and that stresses that medial ligament. Okay, again, it's a fairly similar scenario. Either way, the ligament has been damaged or stressed, and we need to help you sort that out. The medial ligament actually obviously is to stop that movement in or gapping of the knee, but where it will also feel tight and where you may notice your symptoms is when you fully straighten the leg, because it tightens to stop that end range of extension. That could be painful. And then obviously when you bend it through and pull your knee in, again that tightens the ligament, so you may notice the pain there. So if you're getting pain at the very end of extension, the very end of the bend, you feel it's a bit unstable if you twist or turn suddenly on the knee, then the medial ligament is the area that might be damaged. One thing to note with this, in both of these situations, there are different levels, different grades of injury. The first is a grade 1, which will be quite painful, but actually the joint's really stable. Grade 2, you'll have some gapping. Now, if you're moving to grade 2, you really need someone to assess it. So you do need to go and see your physio or your GP and get them to assess the joint. If there is gapping, it's important that we do the right management from the off. It needs stability, it needs support, it may need a physical brace around the knee so that you heal correctly and you don't have that gapping long term. And then obviously there's a grade 3 where you've completely damaged it, but I would hope you would know if you've done that much damage to your knee. In terms of the initial phase, once you've injured it, what do you need to do? The obvious bit is ice onto that local area, again sticking with a maximum of 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and you can repeat 2 or 3 times to calm things down. Tubey grip over the area to help with swelling, and that will help compress the area, which will feel nice and help make it secure. As with all these sort of early phase injuries, movement. So just bending and straightening the knee in the range that you feel comfortable. Don't press into the pain, just work through the range that you feel comfortable with, and working for sort of 60 seconds and just get that movement. And what you'll find is that your range will improve as you're going through the exercises, and that's things loosening up and getting to move, okay? Nice and relaxed there. So they're the things that you want to do. Obviously we want to make sure that you keep working and loading it. So if I can get Rihanna here just to stand up for me. So if your knee's bad, you won't feel comfortable standing on it with your knee straight and locked and taking the weight through. You'll want to sort of have the knee bent most of the time when you're walking. So again, another sign that maybe you've got this injury, but I would like you to try and stand and load that knee so that you're helping get some pressure and stress back into that joint again. Okay, so in a few minutes we'll have a look at a couple of early bits of rehab work that you can do. But as I said, if you're uncertain, if you feel unstable, if you feel like the knee sort of is giving way, book yourself in for an appointment so that you can see a physio or an expert and make sure that we get the right management in place for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is go through 3 exercises for you now, just to give you a little bit of work to do. So this is something you might start after about the first 2 days, so the pain's settling down a little bit, things are starting to improve, so we want to start to get the movement going. If that hasn't happened, it might be time to maybe go and find an expert and get it assessed properly. But let's have a look. So what we're going to do is just get around here to just bend and straighten the knee. So what I want you to do is bend up nice and comfortably, you don't have to pull it too hard, and straighten out and really lock it out. So when you come down, lock it out, pull the foot up towards you. Pull, hold. Get the muscle working, and then bend again, and then out in front. Yeah, excellent, and then bend. That's it, lovely. Okay. If it's sore, to straighten it fully or bend it fully, just work in the range that you feel comfortable. So you're going to do about a minute of that, so we get some nice movement through the joint. Okay, and then rest there. The next one we're going to do is we're going to start to load it. Again, part of that healing process is to load the joint and get it moving. So I'm going to get Rihanna here with that leg forwards into a bit of a split squat. So come forwards a bit with this back leg, a bit further forwards. Okay, so it's a nice high position you're in. You're not in a very deep squat. Okay, hands on your hips. Make sure your pelvis and everything is nice and straight. Excellent. Make sure if you look down, your knee, your hip and your foot are all facing forwards and you can see your big toe. Okay, and then you're just going to go into a small lunge, that's it, and then come back up. Make sure your knee doesn't drift across the midline as you're doing that. Keep the weight in the heel of that front leg, that's it, and then keep going. Again, about a minute, we're getting some load through. It shouldn't be super painful. If it's sore to move through the range, go down and hold. And stay there and just hold, and let's work the muscle and build up some endurance, strengthen things again, and then you can move to the movement side later on. So 60 seconds, probably 2 sets will be perfect to start with, and then come back up. Okay? And then the third one, the swelling that can occur in this type of injury inhibits the muscle on the inside of the knee. So we want to start to kickstart that. So start this as soon as you can in terms of swelling. If it's really swollen still, it's probably better to focus on getting the swelling settled. If the swelling's not too bad, then you can start on this exercise to build up that muscle on the inside of the knee. So you're going to go back to a wall, nice strong wall, probably do it with your shoes on normally, but we can do it this. And you're just going to step 3 steps out, that's 3, okay. Feet just slightly wider than the hips, and you're going to lower yourself back to the wall, okay. So you end up with your knee at about 65 degrees, okay. And you're just going to stay there, keep the knees out. I would say you probably bring your feet a little close together for me, a little bit more, that's it, perfect, lovely, okay? Stay there, engage glutes, stay nice and tall here, and you'll feel this muscle on the inside will work. Now the idea will be probably in this early phase, if you can do a minute, that's brilliant. Eventually, as things progress over 2 or 3 weeks, you should be starting to try and build that up to 90 seconds and even 2 minutes. So, nice, simple, just a wall sit, just again to try and get those muscles addressed. So that should get you started. If you're unable to do these or things aren't progressing nice and steadily, then make sure you come in and see somebody and get it looked at properly. Okay?